The rate hike not unexpected, the lack of rate hike not unexpected, but the dissenters were.
Yeah, it's the Haldane move. We were looking at the possibility of a surprise coming out of the Bank of England, and we've certainly got one, and that is that Andy Haldane, the chief economist, has decided to switch sides. As you say, the vote count therefore 6-3. That was something that very few people anticipated. There was some anticipation that we may get some guidance towards what is happening with that August hike that you just referenced, and whether or not that is still live. The market's certainly now making that more live than it was before. What is interesting is that what we also get from the Bank of England is that all of the MPC is more confident that the Q1 slowdown was temporary, i.e. there is a belief that that will not persist into Q2, and that makes it more likely as well that August hike could become a reality. There's also just the view simply that the BOE is just providing itself with more optionality. We don't know yet. It's going to have to wait and see. Why take August off the table at this point? The pound certainly benefiting from this.
Yeah, Guy, I also found interesting what David pointed out, that the QE unwind is going to begin when the rate hits 1.5%. I feel like more specific timelines for the unwinding.
Absolutely. They want to make that clear. They want to make the market aware of what their process is going to look like. The Fed did something very similar. It's interesting, you've had a slightly more ambiguous approach from the ECB in terms of how it's going to be rolling off some of its QE-generated holdings. But nevertheless, the bank is trying to provide some clarity for the market at this point in the time. It's also saying that the MPCs, the slack in the labour market, largely used up, which is another interesting aspect as well. They've been very bad at the Bank of England. It has been very bad, the Bank of England, in predicting exactly where narrow is, what impact the slack in the labour market is going to have in terms of wage growth. But it does seem as if they now believe that we are at that neutral point and that we are going to see, therefore, an acceleration in wage inflation. It's a much more positive picture than maybe the market had anticipated.
And Guy, we've gone, of course, from 2 to 3 dissenters, but is it significant that that dissenter, Haldane, is the chief economist? Our colleague Lucy Meakin on T-Live has noted that that's the first time in 7 years that the chief economist has dissented from the majority.
Absolutely. I think it's fascinating that it's Andy Haldane. He is the chief economist. Theoretically, he's the guy that has his finger in all of the numbers and understands all of the models. It's his models that ultimately form the basis of all of this. He's decided slack has been used up in the economy. We are now at the point where, therefore, we need to maybe get rates back to a more neutral position. The hint seems to be from that he believes that an August hike should be there, and that we need to start tightening into what could be, theoretically, be some wage growth inflation.